These are the mysteries at the museum. Fort Lauderdale, Florida boasts 300 miles of canals and inland waterways, earning it the nickname, the Venice of America. And just a stone's throw away from shore is an institution dedicated to a popular aquatic activity, the International Swimming Hall of Fame. Here, visitors can find a spectacular assortment of Olympic memorabilia, including gold medals and a starting block from the 1972 Games. But there's one object here that made the biggest splash in the history of swimming.
The artifact is a dark blue color. One piece resembles a modern gym short. The other piece resembles a brassiere, and it was worn by one of the greatest female athletes of all time.
This garment was at the center of a record-breaking feat that triggered a tidal wave of change for women's sports.
This bathing suit played a key role in one of the greatest underdog stories of history.
The 1920s. It's the golden age of sports in America. Baseball's Babe Ruth, boxing's Jack Dempsey, and football coach Newt Rockne are regarded by the public as heroes. But while male athletes take center stage, women are not taken seriously in sports at all.
In 1925, it was commonly accepted that women were inferior to men.
But there's one young athlete who wants to change all that. 19-year-old swimmer Gertrude Ederle.
Gertrude Ederle was regarded as the best woman swimmer in the world.
Ederle is determined to prove that female athletes deserve just as much attention as men. And to do it, she vows to accomplish the hardest feat in the world of sports: swimming across the English Channel.
Swimming the English Channel was regarded as being the most difficult physical challenge for mankind. It was the Mount Everest of that era.
The 21-mile swim from France to England is so tough, only 5 people have ever completed the journey. All of them men. The thought of any woman even attempting the swim is impossible for most people to fathom.
There's so many variables. There's wind. The currents can be violent. The waves can go from being perfectly glassy to 8-9 feet high.
But Ederle is undaunted. If she can complete the epic swim, it will shine a bright spotlight on female athletes and their abilities.
If she made it, it would change the way women were viewed forever.
Convention holds that anyone who attempts to swim the English Channel must follow a strict set of rules. Ederle can only wear a swimsuit and a cap. She cannot use any type of flotation device. And most importantly, she can't receive any physical assistance, not even for a second.
If anyone touched Gertrude, she would be disqualified.
On August 18, 1925, from the shores of France, Ederle begins her swim. She's followed by a boat carrying her coaches and a group of volunteers who monitor her safety. Ederle keeps a strong pace for more than 8 hours. And by the time she reaches mile 15, she's on track to complete the swim faster than any man before her.
She'd made great progress. She was 2/3 the way across.
But just 6 miles from reaching her goal, Ederle is stopped cold. A massive wave crashes over her, causing her to swallow seawater.
She's choking a little bit and feels like she has to vomit.
She struggles to catch her breath, and then the unimaginable happens.
The next thing she knew, something touched her.
To her horror, a volunteer pulls Ederle onto the boat.
He panicked, thought that she was drowning.
It's a mistake that costs Ederle dearly.
The moment she was touched, the swim was over. She was immediately disqualified.
Why did you touch me? I was fine.
Ederle is devastated. Instead of changing the public's beliefs about female athletes, she's reinforced them.
The general consensus of the public was that a woman's place was in the home, not in the English Channel.
But Ederle isn't ready to give up. She vows to tackle the swim once more.
She was not a quitter. Her motto was, if at first you don't succeed, try, try, try again.
On August 6, 1926, Ederle returns to France for her second battle with the English Channel. This time, to ensure she won't be disqualified, she instructs her entourage that they are not to help her, no matter what.
She was going to die before someone would touch her.
Shortly after 7 o'clock in the morning, Ederle plunges into the channel. At first, everything seems to be going well, but less than 1 hour later, the weather takes a turn for the worse. Ederle's task is now even more difficult than she could have imagined. For hours, she swims through torrential rain and rolling waves.
The wind started to pick up. There were 6, 8, 10-foot swells. She was being tossed all over the place.
Ederle's support team urges her to get on the boat, but the brave athlete refuses to stop.
She was aching all over. Her tongue was swollen. It was impossible. But she persevered.
Finally, after 14 hours, she reaches the shores of Dover, England.
Well, she started to come out. There was just a huge roar. She had proven that a woman could do it.
But that's not her only cause for celebration. Her time, 14 hours and 31 minutes, shatters the men's English Channel record by almost 2 hours.
Not only did she do what a man could do, she did it better. It was a huge accomplishment for her, but it was a bigger accomplishment for the world and for women's rights.
Today, this swimsuit belonging to Gertrude Ederle is on display at the International Swimming Hall of Fame in Fort Lauderdale. It recalls the brave, determined woman who swam her way into the history books.